So I guess I can kind of start over here at the table. These are some plus things, or these are some cuttings that I took from a couple of my tomato plants and rooted, and now I planted them over last night. So I got a pack of these, 1 gallon. Well, they're a little bit under a gallon, but just to help me with little things like that. Then you can see the first phase of deconstructing the garden has taken place. We've moved all of the bags off of the grass, and that's mostly because we have to regrow the grass. So that's going to be the next phase for this week. As crazy as it sounds, not crazy to us because we've got a lot of milestones going on in our family right now. So, with our senior graduating and going off to the Air Force, one of our daughters just went into the double digits this year. So, and we're moving, and it's now 5 years since we came together as a family. So we're going to have a photographer come out and kind of use this bed, even though we're mostly going to have to dig it up. And we fantasize about being able to salvage some of the plants in it, but in the end, I'm not going to let it break my heart. But so the photographer is coming tomorrow, and then after that, we'll dig this up. I've decided that all the kiddie pools I'm going to go ahead and dig them up, and then we're just going to fill bags with those, and because a lot of this maybe would have liked to have been under shade already. So like this, it's just struggling. It's like my annual little fight with tomato plants. So so after that, we'll start breaking down everything else that's left on the grass. That over there is a pile of soil that I made because I have to fill my potato bags, and like I told you, I'm up planting my indoors plants. And so I'm supposed to return it to how it looks. So to me, that means I have to kind of cut down my flowers. We did eat like 4 or 5 strawberries off of this last night, so we're trying to eat as many as we can before we have to obviously dig them up. But this bed is kind of like my last priority because it's not on the grass. So I got most of my herbs moved over here into the shade, just because I didn't have a lot of time to keep up with stuff last week. And you might think we've lost our rocker because of this elephant, but sweet Noah wants to give it away, so this is our way of washing it, kind of freshen it up in the sun. So this is everything that was kind of from the beds and from the bales forward and close to the house. So we got that moved over here, and now all of a sudden this levee is starting to produce for me, but this is my dirt. And I don't know about you, but I feel pretty serious about my dirt, so I will be digging these up and seeing what can survive. So there's an update on the garden deconstruction. So coming to you looking a little crazy right now, but we're just getting into cutting up the bale. So the main things that I'm trying to save from the bale are 2 tomato plants that are doing pretty good. So my plan is, and you'll kind of see over here, that I've got 2 fabric bags, and I had some soil from another container that I just kind of put maybe an inch and a half, nothing, it's just what I had in the bottom, kind of as a stabilization, because then we're gonna go to put the straw bale square in, and then my plan is to fill in around that with soil. So from here, we're just gonna let you see how it goes. Okay, so now we're just gonna fill those bags in with some soil that we already have made. We probably are gonna take some from this kiddie pool that we're gonna break down, but we also want a little bit of the soil that's fresh and got a lot of nutrients in it. So cross your fingers. We're on the last evolution of things. I'm sorry that I haven't done so great of keeping up. First thing that we did originally a week or two ago was we got all the bags off the grass. Then we broke up the bale, and we used part of that bale to, because we took up the strawberry bed. But first I dug out all the strawberries, and I did this like a week or so ago. So I took what was remaining of the bales and put about half that in the bottom of the bags, and then I lifted the strawberries out of the bed, and really and truly they've really been just doing phenomenal since they got into these bags, and they didn't struggle at all. So that was the process. So yesterday there were still things that we needed to take up, like the bed, but the bale was gone. And then after a lot of convincing and cajoling, I got my husband convinced that we could move this bed. And the main reason why is, and you know, people can make fun of me, but this is my favorite tomato plant. It's a Cherokee Purple, and it's got over 13 tomatoes on it. And say what you will, but I've had no good luck growing tomatoes. And so anyhow, a couple of my husband's work friends and a couple of big boys and our boys lifted this up onto a pallet. And then I've got a video on Instagram. I'm gonna try and port it over from my phone to get it into this video, but if I can't, then if you're interested, you can check it out on Instagram. I made a highlight of how we basically cut this bed down so that we could get it through the fence, and we used a sawzall and dug out section at a time and then put it back together. So it's a little awkward shape. It's not necessarily going to fit our watering PVC system anymore, but it's going to keep these tomatoes. And if I don't have to use this bed because of its awkwardness again, to me, as silly it is, you know, it's the tomatoes for me. Now over here I've got again another little clip. Things just got to moving so fast. So I took a lot of clippings from the tomatoes. I took any of the tomatoes off of the tomatoes that I had over here, and then I dug up a bunch of basil. But otherwise we dumped the kiddie pools out, and this is where they lie. And the kiddie pools kind of got destroyed in the process, but that's okay. I may not do kiddie pools at the next property. I may do something completely different with this dirt. So now we've rented a pallet jack, which is going to enable us to get the pallet up off the grass. And then we've got, you know, you can kind of see through there, we've got a moving truck that we rented, and it's got a lift gate on it. So, and stuff like the greenhouse, they lifted the greenhouse out of the yard yesterday and put it in the garage. So everything that is related to my garden that's not alive, like plants, everything like that is in the garage, staged and ready to be loaded. And then we'll load all the live stuff and be on our way to set up our new garden. So I'm not gonna get into my feels right now because some people said ugly stuff to me, but we're saying goodbye today for the final. Like, the family's out, but this is the last phase, and we really would have been done yesterday, but we had a delay with our truck. So there we are. We just got that mamma jamma loaded up in there, and everything's in there. So yeah, there's everything all the way back to the back with my greenhouse. So here's the grand finale. I just need to get my compost bin out of here. I'm so excited about the next phase. I don't know why this hits me so hard, but it does. And you know, I'm allowed to feel my emotions without other people telling me what I should be thinking and feeling based on other people's suffering. So, and there it is. We'll say goodbye to this one, and we'll say hello in a minute. Bye bye, pool. Taking all that though.